Kim and Shai volunteer with the prison ministry. Their personal experience is what motivates them. Like King David, their conscientious hearts compel them to do the right thing. But it wasn't always like that.
I committed fraud. I received a 28-month sentence, and I was inside for 15 months of that. I was on parole for the other 13 months.
I've struggled at recovery from addiction for many years, and I was arrested with a significant amount of drugs on me that qualified me for the mandatory minimum 1 year. I think for me, the only time I believed in God was when I needed to blame Him for something. So He was real to me when, when my life wasn't going the way I wanted. I think with the pattern of addiction is we almost pick up a substance to change how we feel. And they don't do for you what you hope they will. And they led me to do things on my list that I said I'd never do. You know, so I crossed off things like, oh, I said I'd never use that drug. I said I would never steal. I said I would never prostitute. And all those things kept getting crossed off my I will never do list, which just led to more guilt and shame and led to more using.
My drug of choice was money. And for me, it started off small, very small, you know, just needing a little bit here or there to help. And as it progressed, even though I knew it was wrong, and even though I felt horrible guilt about it, I continued to do it because I couldn't stop. So I was taking large amounts of money and not getting caught for it. And in my heart, I didn't want to be doing it, but I couldn't stop. So again, very similar to an addiction.
The conscience, it'll make you do funny things. So again, my solution was if I just use more, it'll make that conscience go away. The problem with that is eventually you come down. Eventually the drugs wear off. And so you need to get more. So then the things you do to get more are really heavy on the conscience because they're immoral and sinful things.
I don't honestly know what changed in me that said it's okay to do that. Now, towards the end, I very much had choice. I had a very good job. I made a lot of money. I didn't have to take money. But again, it was me being messed up and my, what Shai said about wrong thinking. You think much differently when you're in that situation, which you never thought you would get there. It's certainly not something you plan. I prayed to be God. I mean, I got away with the last fraud that I did for 4 years. I was in a position of trust in the company, but still, I went through 4 audits. Nobody caught me. Towards the end, I was leaving it out, not even hiding it anymore, because I was just sick inside. And when I was caught, I was so relieved. And turning myself in was a huge thing for me. Just get it, you know? I just wanted it to be over.
Like we have all kinds
Yeah.
of things.
Like King David, both Kim and Shai sinned and fell. Their reality was distorted, desensitized. But doing time kept Shai and Kim humble and their conscience strong.
I'll give Satan a little bit of credit here, the prince of deception, and maybe Kim can relate. So there's 2 thoughts that he likes to put, say, into my mind and maybe into others. The first one is, you can get away with it. You can get away with it. And then the second lie is, it'll make you feel better. And when I look at those 2 lies and when I start believing those 2 lies, I start grabbing for things outside of myself to make me feel better. And I think, you know, once you come to realize that those lies, nothing outside of yourself will ever fill that, you know, and then seeking the relationship with God from there.
In the past, Kim and Shai broke the law and paid the price. Today, they listen to their hearts And as they grow closer to Christ, they understand time is in His hands.
I believe that our lives are laid out by God, but we also have free will. You know, I sinned and He forgave me, and I'm not there anymore, and I will never go there again. You know, that's my belief in myself now. And I believe in myself because of God, because He's given me that.
I was very amazed at the presence of God I felt in prison as opposed to the presence of God I felt at church. God's presence is very abundant when you're in a place of suffering. For me, that's where He met me. That's where He led me, because I wouldn't have listened otherwise. And I had to feel completely abandoned and alone before I cried out.